All right, here I am, Dr. Dan. We're out here in Queenstown.
Yes, sir.
Queenstown, Maryland. And this is Brian WEESE. And he did what we told him. He found a job and he brought us out and deferred a lot of the expenses. And so now we're out here. We just did the kitchen and we're going to do some samples. We're going to do a antique with glaze. We're going to do a toner, a Crackle lacquer, a black rub through. If you want to grab those, Brandon, you got to do a black rub through and an antique white with glaze. You can turn it off at times too.
It's okay.
All right. So this one here, we used our wormhole maker. As you can see, it's not too sophisticated, and we just beat up the door. We put some cracks in it with our awl. This is an awl you can get anywhere. We put about 3 per door, different areas. It can be here, it can be here, here in the corner, here. So you just stagger them. It's good to put in the cracks before you take off the doors. So you put them in the door here. Then the next one you might do crossways.
Okay.
Okay. So we got wormholes and we got cracks. And then we chained it a little bit. You can see our chain. Just little things you get at Home Depot. Put some Loctite on there. It's a little squeeze, kind of a glue, but these do not come off. We bang up our sample. And now we're ready to soften the corners. Just use the gun, I guess. Go on the corner. And I usually sometimes just get right in there. Get all that out of there. Okay. Now just give that a nice coat, nice wet coat. And let me show you, I'm putting this lacquer on. Just put it on nice and a little slower.
Yep.
And then on your face, kind of close. But always get that where you put a nice wet coat on like that.
Because we have no wax to worry about, you know?
Yeah.
Pre-cat.
Lacquer paint.
Yeah, it dries just the same.
Ultra high pre-cat.
And this one's glossier than the other lacquer.
It's 30, but yeah, it's about all it comes.
Either one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I always put clear over it. So we're just going to mix a little bit of this because we're going to do a gray, right?
Yep.
So let's go over here. You tell me about how much gray that you want. So here's how you make gray. It's just a little bit of black.
Yep. Okay. Just a darker than white.
And that's kind of a light gray.
Yeah, I'm darker.
And I'll let you go ahead and just dip a little in there and stir it like you like. You want darker?
Yeah, a little
Whatever
darker.
you want, or if that's good.
If you don't like it, we can always add white, but
Yep, yep. I like that.
that's pretty. Very natural.
You got where you kind of like it?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you want do you say you want more of a transparent?
Yeah, like
Then
a,
you want a solid, right?
yes. Yeah, like a, yep.
Okay. Okay, and then a strainer.
You're behind you.
Very
Got the
good.
floor.
Okay, now, this here, you gotta thin this stuff because it's pretty thick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty thick. So I don't know. We're getting low on everything.
We got some over there.
Okay. We'll just, we'll get this a little bit thin. So we're almost gonna spray this gray like a dye, right? Even though it's pigment.
Okay.
So, then the cup. And we're gonna put just a little bit in here. And we're gonna thin it down so it's not
Nice.
real thin.
Yep.
pretty thin. So you can see through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing now. Do you remember how to get this where we can tone it? You want a lot of air and a little fluid.
You want him to do it?
Let me just see first. Let me just see how it sprays.
Oh, sorry.
Same thing, right? Gray. That's what it kind of looks like, just kind of a gun gray or something, you know?
If you don't like it, we can wash it off and redo it.
So as you know, we just gave it a wet coat, and Crackle won't crackle if it gets too dry. So if this dries overnight, of course, it won't crackle. So when it starts to flash off is when you want to crackle. So we'll spray another wet coat. You want to have a couple coats on there so it's kind of thick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got a couple coats on there, pretty heavy duty. And we'll let that dry for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Until it starts to flash. So say you had a whole thing of doors here.
Yep.
If you start from here and you start spraying your clear, that's where you start crackling. Right when you start it, because it's drying. Because if you start down there, the crackle will be real big, and here will be real small.
Okay.
So as it dries, it crackles less.
Gotcha.
So you just start where you just started to spray, work your way down.
Okay.
All right, this is a Becker Acroma Crackle lacquer. It comes in Star, Mohawk. Here's what it looks inside the can. It's very thick, flattening paste. You want to make sure to stir all that up before you start. So there'll be big chunks in the bottom. It only takes like a minute, not even to stir it up real good. Okay, it's all stirred up now. Basically what you want with this Crackle is a little puddle. So let me show you here. You can turn it down like that.
Okay.
You see the little puddle?
That's it.
That's it. Just in spots.
And that gives it a fit.
Yeah. So we'll let this dry a little bit because it's getting a little bit wet. You just want it to glaze over a little bit. This will kind of be a fun sample. We'll put a black glaze over it, you know, and that tells me I may need to just dry it here more. Crackle.
We sprayed some on.
A couple more too. Just let it dry. Doesn't matter where you put it. You want to try a little bit? You can spray it right there.
There at the top.
Yeah, just right in there. Doesn't really matter. A little more. Yep, good.
You want to keep it more uniform instead of
Yeah.
kicking that up.
Instead of like big sprays, it's more like this. More puddle.
Like that. Yep.
You could try it. Just go like that, flood it. Couple areas. Do one right here. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's wrong.
A little bit there.
That is wow.
And a lot of this will disappear when you put the clear. Yeah.
One there, and let him put one
Which
there.
one? Right up here?
Yeah, let him do one.
Go ahead, one right up in here.
That was nuts.
Maybe the corner.
There you go. Just like that.
That's the weirdest looking thing ever.
And then as you dry it, it crackles. This one didn't bust as much. It might have been too wet.
Okay.
You can always go over it. Don't have to, kind of like that. If you want to run them together a little bit, you can. That's good. You can do long ones. Well, mostly people just like a couple of them per door. Okay, so that's good. And then, like I said, the wetter it goes, how we rebroke that one.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want that one quite as straight or whatever, but on the corners, see how they're kind of nice
that, yeah.
when they drop down a little bit. People like sometimes the edges along here, just like that. You don't have to be afraid. Just find out how much they want. You can control it, go a little less, you know. And then when those all crack, the irritant makes them crack. You can probably let them dry. Now, again, if this dries too long, like overnight or an hour, it won't crack. So it's got to be kind of wet. So when you spray them, just go down to the end after it's flashed off, and then you start to crackle. And just keep working your way down. So that's Crackle. And that looks pretty good. Yeah, a little bit.
Balance it out.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a little bit. Because we got a lot on, we might as well glaze over it now.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. And when that glaze goes on it, all that crackle kind of comes out. And it's great because a lot of this disappears with the clear. If you ever get a lot of crackle, like if you have a bed, like say you do a big banana bed, and then you spray clear over it, a couple coats, you can crackle the whole thing, and you can lay it down and flood it, and it'll look just like this, just big, beautiful cracks. It looks incredible. So pretty good, huh?
And you could crackle clear, you know, like spray a bed with clear and
then just
crackle it. And then glaze it.
See here?
It'd be fun.
So let's see what we got here. So it's our clear coat. That disappears. Now we'll come back with our black glaze or our VanDyke brown glaze
Okay.
over this
Yeah, make it pop.
and give it some depth. It's like all that crackles in there, it's just,
Yeah, it's a huge color.
it just needs a little color. The other thing, if you don't like something, you could always paint this white and you'd have the crackle under it. The crackle will still be there. So you can do whatever you want. I think this will be unique, but I'm just saying,
Right.
like sometimes you can just repaint right over your crackle and your crackle's still there.
Yeah, it really shows up with white, you know.
I think this is going to be kind of cool. Anytime we're wiping over clear, it's always mineral spirits, never lacquer thinner. Because we don't want it to bite into the finish. We want to be able to wipe it off.
Okay.
So we're just going to go like this. I always like to go a little wetter in the corner. Get the corners first, right?
Yep.
It's going to be one of those unusual finishes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Edge nicely. bottom look like an alligator there. You know? This is the thing about experimenting. You never know what you're going to get, and you can create something very, very unique that the designers will like. You can go nice and straight like that. Kind of like this. I think it looks kind of unique. Almost looks like a silver, you know, kind of a bronze almost. I'm just kind of trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, yeah. It'd be perfect in a haunted house.
Yeah, for John, my buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Just let John and go, ooh, I felt the ghost.
Actually, it makes a really cool island, an accent island. And then like a, I don't know.
It really does. I tell you, I kind of like it. It looks like a nickel or something under it.
It does look like, yeah.
It really does. But let's just take our brush now.
Some people just like a wild island like that accentuates.
It does look cool. I'm telling you, it does.
It's actually
It's
awesome.
the first one I've done like this, but I'm going to take a picture of it and put it on my site because it's very unique.
It is.
Then you can just kind of come back like this.
Kind of like bomber jacket unique.
Yeah, it is. And believe me, there's a guy that'll say, I want.
That's what I want.
That's what I want.
Custom, you can charge automatically.
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
You can pretty much get what you want for them.
Especially Crackle Lacquer.
Go heavy in here if you want. No. On some of these, I'll show you. This is a little bigger brush.
Okay.
Usually I use the ones about that big.
Okay.
But same thing. You can come in here, dry it out. So just adding a little bit back in here. And it kind of has a silver. I love it. I really do.
I do too.
It's very unique. First one we've ever done like this. Let's see what we got.
We just lost our light gray that he wanted though, but we can make it.
Oh, we're bringing it back. We can bring it back.
This is good. I like this better. This is like a barn door almost.
It
You
does.
It's getting that rusty
Oh yeah, it's way awesome.
with that gray tone still. Wow.
Now, if we want, our Scotch Brite, again,
Right while that's still wet.
You know what I kind of like about it? You know how we started with a lot of grain?
Yeah.
Well, let's say that they hated it and they wanted
Hide.
something high. Yeah, totally. Especially that hand glazing.
Yeah.
this is kind of a rustic. Anytime, whenever you do Crackle, anytime you do Crackle, you're getting into rustic anyway.
Can you soften it just in there?
I think that's a pretty unique, very unique island.
Very unique. One of a kind.
We just like it because you never know
What you end up with.
what you're going to end up with.
When I get ready for an appointment, I show a lot of times the samples, and I just literally try to follow what God leads me to grab.
Right.
And because it's usually right on.
Really?
Yeah, and there's like, oh, I love that, and it's not really what I expected.
Yeah, a lot of the
It's
time.
always a surprise. You know, I shouldn't say always, but often is.
See why you got an art set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Got a gift here.
I know. See, don't, you
I don't
can't
know
just tell
why
by the
she
way
got
it
me an art
fills it.
set.
Very artistic.
Yes, exactly. You told him about that, huh?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
I know. It's like that was the idea given to me, and I'm like, weird, because Dan always told me all I could do is draw stick people. But I'm like, okay. So I go to Hobby Lobby, and what do they have in the center aisle? A whole set for an artist. Everything that you need: gesso, the canvas, the whole kit for the stand, everything you need, all in the center aisle as a display. I'm like, no way. So I grabbed everything, and that's what he got for Christmas.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
But I thought,
Not bad, huh?
You're good.
But that's just a kind of a nickel old world, old barn, whatever you want to call it.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty cool for what we had, isn't it?
That's ridiculous. For an oak cabinet with a lot of green.
that was oak. Oh, that
Yep.
was a weird oak.
That was
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's
it's weird. It's weird oak.
Yeah.
That's what you could show them on the back. Say we do, and here's what you tell them on something like this. We do specialty finishes, so designers love this stuff.
right.
Designers go, oh my God, that's their fireplace mantle, the whole thing.
Right. Wow.
So, and if these you want them a little darker, you just kind of do that. Doesn't really matter, you know what I mean?
That's just hard to duplicate on a kitchen door after door after door.
No. Do the same thing. You just,
I don't even know what all we did, but yeah.
It's all on film.
we did gray. We did kind of a gray
Yep.
toner
Then clear coat.
made with paint.
Made with paint. Yeah.
And then clear.
Clear coat, then crackle lacquer.
And then a clear again, so make it extra thick, then the
Okay.
Crackle lacquer.
Crackle lacquer.
And then we added a little bit more Crackle
Okay, I got a question.
and clear and glaze.
What do you think you could get for a finish like this?
Oh my word.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
That's one of the things, is whatever you want. That's a $20,000 job.
Yeah, it is. And something like here, I might just feather it in a little bit, just a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just a couple little areas.
Yeah, I'm glad because it was looking a little bit heavy on the right side. Now it'll balance out.
Which way?
No, never mind. Remember I was trying to get you to soften up the left there?
Yeah.
It's because it didn't have enough streaks on the right.
Okay. I'd say that's pretty good, wouldn't you guys?
Yep.
Beautiful. I've never guessed.
I know. A little bit there. Okay. And then of course,
Clear.
clear coat. So you want to do the honors on the clear? One final. See the edges look pretty good? Yep. Nice heavy shot on that baby and go down to your collection. That's a very unusual. What do you think call it? Rustic, right?
It is roughly. Yeah. Very neat.
Hey, that's your dad. How about if we do this to your dad?
Grandpa, yeah.
Son, where'd you pick that one up?
Here's your sample. That's funny.
One more. Oh, look, that's good. Cool. That's old world, man. Whew.
It's,
Isn't that incredible?
It's award winning for sure. Oh my
I
goodness.
swear that is award winning, brother. That's a new. If you showed this to a designer, this might be the next color. I swear to God. Isn't that
Yeah, you're gonna
incredible?
freak over that one.
I'm telling you, this is one you can. They loaded about 20 steps to it. You know, I got a pigmented toner. I got a VanDyke brown glaze. I got Crackle. I got burnishing. I got streaks. You know, I can do it. You know, it's about 5,000 for that. You know, mantle
Right.
or whatever you're doing.
You knock it out of the day.
Yep.
Really, our rule is whatever it's worth to us for.
So we just had this raw wood door that we put burnt umber on, and we're going to do burnt umber stain, and then we're going to put a VanDyke brown glaze. So we put one seal coat, we sanded it, and now we're putting one more coat of clear. Now it's ready for glaze. Made them out.
Okay.
Yep. then go the upper. There you go.
One way, doesn't matter?
Yep, one way or two ways, it don't matter. You can go like this.
Just
Now you're not trying to wipe it all out,
Right.
so you kind of, don't matter if you slop a little on the top. If you need a little bit extra, just come back, add it in again. And then double this, always double.
Yep.
And then, like so. A little bit up here. Now I'll have you do this. Now let's grab this glaze. When you get these brand new, this is more of a knife. This has been sitting in.
Okay.
So basically,
Where do you think they'll get that?
Hobby Lobby, or what's the other place? Still nice.
Michael's.
Still nice it is.
Yeah.
So this really, really speeds things up. So here,
Gotcha.
Just by having a nice brush.
just by a nice brush. This is very hard to do if you have a big wide brush.
Let him do one.
Okay, do that one. Just kind of used to holding it kind of light.
Right here. Too heavy.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's natural.
Yeah, it is. If it's too heavy, you just come back and
Wipe it down.
wipe her down just a little bit. I probably went too heavy too, but it don't matter. There's not much of an edge on here. So try that one there.
Smaller brush makes smaller lines too.
Or you could just go like this. Always go like this to keep your blade sharp.
Oh, okay.
Now try that. A little less on there.
Hold it a little bit more in the back here. Ooh, yeah.
It's okay, that's good. You
Yeah, I gotta
know,
hold it.
that's what's about oil.
Lose control with that. Oh,
Now what you can do is go like this, come back down here, and,
Straighten that
and
out.
just straighten it out.
okay.
But I'd probably go just a little bit. I'd come a little bit more like this than like this. So I come more from the top.
Let it fall and drag it.
Yep. And then on some of these, because there's not much of an edge, you got to make a straight line.
Oh, okay.
See how I did that?
That's nice, yeah.
And then if you need a little more in here, don't ever be afraid. Just go back, add a little more in your corners you might have missed. It only takes a second. Come back again. If you want to use one, you can sometimes. But I use two just for a nice line, right?
We'll go see.
Right. Clean off your little bit excess.
Okay.
Get it off the surface.
And this was made with dye.
No, remember, you wouldn't be able to wipe it off. If we got that dye on top, it'd be permanent.
Gotcha, okay.
So this is oil,
So the pigment.
mineral spirits.
Mineral spirits. Same thing a white brush.
Yep.
Kind
And
of glazes pigment.
any kind of glaze or stain.
And as far as how much mineral spirits, it's just as much as it takes to make it a right consistency that it doesn't bleed and run all over
Yeah.
the place.
Dye stain is called spray stain.
Okay, that's strictly spray, yeah.
Yep. So I'm just adding just a little bit more to the corners because sometimes you just want it to really pop. And see how nice that dark looks
Yep.
with that?
Ready.
If it's too runny, just pour some out and thicken it up
Make
a
it a
little
little
bit.
thicker. Perfect.
So that's a nice,
It's beautiful.
That's very pretty.
Love it.
you want it any darker or you like that
I
color
like
right there?
that. No, I like that a lot.
Okay, you clear coat it.
That looks awesome.
That one's ready to go. Another one down. That's what they call a stain and glaze.
Stain and glaze. That's not too hard to do.
No. So if you got raw wood, you could just tell them I just like a nice, if you don't have the stain, just add like just kind of a burnt umber stain, pretty
Right.
thin,
Right.
and then a VanDyke brown glaze.
Okay.
Edges first, nice shot. Yep, that's it. Nice one on the face. Bottom, yep, hit the bottom, yep. Go over the whole thing now. Beautiful. There she is, a nice white coat. And like I say, you don't have to be afraid of this lacquer, just put it on there. Put on nice heavy. and that'll shrink down a lot of it. That's real pretty.
Can I see it? Ooh, that is so nice. Okay, what have you made?
Okay.
So one is paint
And the others. Yep.
and one is stain.
Okay.
So what is this one? Paint.
Paint. Yep.
That's paint because that's lacquer thinner because we're going to spray it.
And what is this?
This is paint. This is antique white, and we'll show the difference here. This is one we already had. This lady wanted yellow, so you can see it's quite a bit different.
Yep. Later.
But see that antique?
Yeah.
So basically, if they don't believe you, you can put it on here,
Say,
antique white.
Yep.
But in there, it just looks like white.
Right.
So that's probably a pretty good. You think that's a pretty good antique white?
Yep.
And how did you make it?
A little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown, a little bit of black. It doesn't matter how I made it because they're going to say they want it a little browner, a little blacker, or a little more yellow.
Yep.
So, but just for your sake, we're going to make it just a little bit whiter. Just a little bit. That's how you make it whiter.
Yeah.
But you can see, antique white. And all you have to do, like I said, is lay it against a napkin and show them the difference. And that's how they can read it. Because they may look at it and say, well, that's just white. You say, no, it's antique white.
White.
Okay?
Yep.
So that's our antique white. This is stain stuff.
Okay.
Mixes with mineral.
Pigment. Okay.
Kind of a gray. So we get, I got some sienna over there. Let's get a little bit of that.
Red.
Yeah. We'll add a little bit of that just to get rid of this gray look, right? This one right here. These are all pigments
Okay.
for stain.
Okay.
And again, we don't want much, just enough to. And could I have that mineral spirits over there?
On the floor there.
Just pour a little in there. Okay. Let's see what we got. Still kind of green, isn't it? Let's just kind of mix in a little bit. Now anything you, this is always darker no matter, even if this almost looks white. It still looks dark when you put it on as a glaze. So even that'll still look real.
Yep.
We're just putting something like just soft around the edge, right? We don't want it too. I'm just making a. We could have started with brown, right? We could have started with the burnt umber,
Right.
and then just put some white in. We'd have the same color. So I'd say start with this.
Okay.
So what I'll do is you always want to clean your brush out now because I've been dipping in all that red, right?
Yep.
And again, these are pretty good brushes. They go to a nice
Yeah, that's nice.
point. Okay. So we'll dip in here like so. See that red? Yeah, that's not red. Get rid of that. You don't want to put red on your sample. Okay, so this is a maple sample, raw wood. We sealed it, a couple passes, sanded it, and we put 2 coats of white. It always takes 2 coats to cover it. Then we'll let it dry and we'll put some glaze, clear coat it, it's done.
Awesome.
The glaze, unless you got to wipe off. Sometimes you may want to put a little clear on here because this wipes off easier over this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What, Brian?
Yeah. See, now to me, that's a little strong. And see how hard that is to get off?
Yeah.
So we'll have to, if this had a clear coat on, it would be easier.
Okay.
So, do you like that as a dark, or would you rather go even lighter? I guess it's already on there, so.
It wipes out a little.
Yeah, so let's just add a little more white for the hell of it.
Okay.
Put a little bit of that in there.
I agree. Most people want a little bit lighter.
Yeah. See, like I said, that's almost like a,
You're splashing.
oops, sorry. Okay. And you can add some more mineral too. Any little bit you do to thin it, right? So just like that, right? Let's see what this looks like. You don't want a bunch dripping all over everything on white. White is a pain. See how that's a little bit softer?
Yeah.
So, let's go over here. And then if you have to get it off, make sure your hands are clean.
Yeah. Like,
And a little bit of Scotch-Brite. And like I said, you can also let it dry. Okay?
right.
Let it dry on there a little bit. You want to try this now, Brian? You got to go here and here.
Bottom and that.
Yeah.
Wipe that off as soon as you can, or
Yeah, or whatever. You can let it dry a little bit.
how do you do that corner?
Well, you're going to get it up on there a little bit. Some of these brushes,
Just get a finer brush for the corner.
they have a bevel on it right to a point.
Okay.
So, and sometimes you just have to go like that,
Yep.
kind of push it up in there. And then same thing with the wiping, remember? With the
Double fold.
in the top, just kind of come over the top, like so. Put another.
You can see where you'd want to buy a couple different brushes.
Yeah, this brush is really too big for this one.
Yeah.
This is for a heavy duty.
I've got a small one over there.
Don't worry, if you get it on there like that, just come back. And the Scotch-Brite is great for getting this off. See how it kind of cleans off? And you can let it dry a little bit. See, like that kind of bit in a little bit?
Yep.
It's okay. Normally, I just put a clear coat on here first, and then it comes right off.
Easier.
It does make, see how it etches?
Yep.
It don't do that with a clear coat.
Okay.
So Andy's got a littler brush here. Oops. Really doing a great job in this store.
Good, good. I'm glad you did that.
So this is not what I'd recommend this one here. I'd recommend one half the size.
You know where it's good for? It's these little bitty corners.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it's perfect
Yep,
for.
yep.
Kind of just tap it in there like that.
Let him do a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead there, Brian. Let you do a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of a wrong brush, but it's okay. You get the right tool, just like anything.
Yep.
Just tap it in there, kind of. Yep. And then
We can use that little brush for these little.
we'll kind of double that up there and clean that in, clean this off. So we'll need to add just a little bit.
Add something to
Yep.
there. Right around that.
Did you want to use a little bitty brush for that one or whatever?
Yeah, throw it in there and wave her back.
Yep.
Alright.
Same thing.
Got the bottom corner.
Yep, and over there too.
Oh boy.
Like I say, the other brushes
Yeah.
make it look a lot better.
Right tools for the trade.
Yep. And we've done it a long time, and
Still able to wipe that pretty clean.
oh yeah. And then on the top, see how nice? But you wouldn't have to really do that if this had a clear coat.
Right, okay.
But see, that clears pretty much everything. This here
Yep.
gets all that off. Here, cleans it up pretty nice. Edges right here. Here. Let's see. We're still not. See, we got a little bit left down here. The other thing you can do too is mineral spirits. Even these here, same thing. See how we just clean that up?
Oh, yeah.
Just not too much mineral spirits because then it makes it run.
Yeah. Streaks of paint.
So let me see this one here. If I can try to do it. Angela's saying just a little bit in the corner. Yeah, this brush is just gone.
Yeah.
No, it's
Tiny.
really a dud. I think there were more over there somewhere.
Gives me the idea.
Yeah.
I'll try another one.
You just go down to Hobby Lobby, get some different sizes of those.
Yep.
Try not to go too cheap on some of them.
Yeah. Yep.
You can get Hobby Lobby usually has half price.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty good outfit.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I like them a lot.
See how I'm just going around the profile?
Yeah.
Blow it out. Get it off that. Get it off here. See where it might be. Off the surface. Like I said, this can take some time.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
make sure you charge enough.
Yep.
Just remember the labor involved. They don't know. 'Cause,
Right.
man, you got to do big doors. You got doors this big.
42-inch tall.
Totally doable. Just time
It's definitely doable.
consumers.
And that definitely would add a lot of time to
So let's see.
each one.
Let's see here a minute. So, dread. I always do this so it keeps that fine point. And then I would add maybe, whoops,
A little thicker. And some people just want a real light line.
Right, especially on a white cabinet. I mean, like,
yeah.
nothing to...
Even the rub through, sometimes they just want a super fine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I'll come back here and just fix that a little bit. What do you think? You think that's,
It's really pretty. I like it. It's definitely one of the popular ones.
Yeah.
here's the thing. When you first do this, when you paint it, just take the time to thin down your clear pretty thin, maybe half and half, and just put a thin coat of clear, and this stuff will wipe right off.
Okay.
You won't have to scotch spray it like I'm doing.
Right.
Making ourselves extra work here.
So, anyway, that's kind of the idea. Not really a good brush, like I said, for this.
Yeah, I love those pointy ones. They're heavenly. Kind of about the same size as that, really. Just different shape. You've seen them, right?
Yep.
I love it when Hobby Lobby has a sale and you can get them for half price.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they're expensive. These.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. My little bit of Scotch Brite.
Red Scotch Brite.
Nope.
Up there. Yeah, and this took, twice as long. Because I didn't put a little bit of clear in it. This is not the good way to do it right here because this powder lands on here too and clouds it up a little bit. So the best way, go through, clear everything.
That way you don't have to dirty that up.
In this case, the clouding won't hurt this because it's a little bit dark, the glaze anyway. There's also what they call glaze compound, and it wipes easier. You can buy it. It's called glaze base. And you mix it in with your glaze, or you buy it as a glaze, and it comes right off.
Okay.
So that's another good thing to do. Now what I'd do is just leave this. I would leave this just for a little bit and let this dry so that we made ourselves a little work, didn't we? But we always like to do a white glaze. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Good enough. Okay.
Cool.
And a clear coat over that.
Very
So you just double check your edges.
And again, the clear coat first would have been a lot of time
Yeah.
saved there. Oh well.
Pretty much you can have it every time you do a step, clear coat it, lock everything in.
Yes.
And it protects
That's
the
it.
next step.
Lock your
Yeah.
paint in.
Yep.
Only on pure whites where you wouldn't want to do that.
But you know, sometimes I show you this because so you know the work involved too. Because
Right.
you really got to clean these up. I mean, they got to be really nice, you know.
Oh yeah, they gotta be.
We'll spend hours
piece.
sometimes
Oh,
on
yeah.
cleaning this glaze up.
Oh yeah, you charge, man, on a glaze. Now it's not that critical except on white, right?
Yeah, 'cause harder.
Yeah, because look at how the white. Look at how the white.
Every little bit just smears the white.
Yes, on a darker color you wouldn't see it. So we look pretty good, right?
Yep.
Sometimes when you wipe it out here, it'll have this like orangey shadowy area. And then you have to get all that out with the Scotch Brite on every single door. It can be very labor intensive. People have no idea.
And you really, after a while, you don't really care what they think because you know the work involved.
Right.
Because people do have opinions, you know, like, what the hell, how much?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're like, yeah, you don't know. I know.
Yeah.
I just did 50 doors the other day and it almost killed me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was there till midnight. But I'll always go through with the clear now, you know.
Man.
Clear coat, I should have did one with the clear, you get it, right? But the clear is what makes it wipe right off. Literally right off. I got one little mark on their zip,
Oh yeah.
but whatever, right? This is the only one you don't want to keep going over and over. You don't want it to turn yellow.
Okay.
Because this is a little amber. That's why you want to use a water white. But again, you can see the difference
Some white.
in the
Yep.
antique white.
You guys want to hold it up so I can see it together? Oh. All right, another beautiful job. Nice.
So we're going to make a holiday kind of a red mountain home with dye stain. This is Bordeaux red. So we don't have much thinner left, so we're conserving.
I have that brown thinner.
So there's your red kind of holiday. If you want it to be a little bit brighter, we'll throw a little bit of yellow in it. And then you'll have kind of a, this is pretty dark, just a little bit of yellow. Yeah. Because we're going to be putting some black over it.
Okay.
So let's take this over here. and we'll grab a clean rag. So this is dye, so we're breaking the rules by wiping it, right?
Right.
Because it's very hard.
Now you're gonna confuse me.
Yeah, because it's very hard to wipe. This is just for like a weird red, right?
Okay.
But that may be too orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple, we just add a little more red to it. This is that VanDyke or black. It's just the stuff we've been using and mixing because we want to add some depth to it.
Okay.
We don't want it to be just a bright red, right? Like I said, you're going to use all kinds of colors when you start doing this with these designers,
Right.
homeowners. Everyone wants to be special and different.
Yep.
More special than mine. So I always just kind of wipe this stuff with the grain. It's kind of
Yeah, that's nice.
a mahogany, cherry, old world. And believe me, some people really still like this. Clean it out of here.
Again, it could be an island, it could be a desk,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
it could be a bookcase.
yeah, we just did one. The lady
Mantle.
said they wanted Oriental, and this is kind of what she wanted.
Okay.
Except she wanted darker
Darker than
than
that.
she had, yeah.
Okay.
But she wanted the red underneath it. It's just like I said. But when we did the job, the lady handed us $7,000 and $7,000 the other week.
Oh my goodness.
But she wanted this particular color, didn't she, Angela?
Yep.
But only she wanted it like toned.
It almost looked like espresso slightly, and then
But
when the lights hit
when the
it.
light hit it, it looked red.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of
And then
cool?
she had everything on these fancy things. She's bought these neat little things from around the world, so she had the spotlight on it. So when the light hit it from the light she had, it just made it look like beautiful, deep red. It was great. It looked so rich.
Wow.
Now this can be one or two things. We can tone it a little bit, or we can streak it. You know, put some streaks in. So what do you think? The other thing we can do is glaze it around the profile. You can actually make all of this dark,
Oh yeah.
like so, instead of just that one piece. Like I said, it's just whatever they dream up, right?
That's
You don't really care.
sky's the limit.
Um, I'm so glad. I'm glad she called. You know, you get kind of nervous when you don't hear from them, you know? It's like, what the-
Yeah, I know. I was starting. I was like, man, it's 4:30. I haven't heard anything yet.
So she
It's got to
said,
be a world. I mean, she just hasn't been blown away to go in and see the doors and
oh yeah.
the finish and everything.
So that's what she said. She said they absolutely love it.
Oh, she said she absolutely loves it. And that's why I said, you know, when she talked about the bathroom, I said, you want to do the exact same color? Oh yeah, I love
yeah.
that color.
Yeah.
So like Angela said too, on some of this, you could just go along the edge.
Just a little highlight there.
Just a little highlight if you want. They want a little bit on that edge.
Kind of burnishing in a way. Or highlighting.
Or highlighting, whatever.
More burnishing when you do it on the edges a lot, right, Dan?
Yeah.
I mean the corners, I mean.
Yeah. Let me see this one. So this one, we'll just put a few little streaks. Because this is kind of a old world anyway, right?
Yeah. You basically just lightly wet that and dry it in a rag.
Yeah, this rag's probably a little dirty, so we'll get this one and soften these back. You know what I mean? And try to go straight if you can. They look better.
Yep.
And I try to go the whole length instead of short. I try to go the whole run. They just look better. Let's see here. And I usually use the smaller brush
Okay.
because these are
Too
pretty
big.
This is pretty big.
Especially for the rails.
Just adds a little bit. Try to keep it within the rail. You know what I mean?
Okay. Not down that detail edge.
Instead of crossing over,
Oh, I see.
you know, and then having to clean it.
Green.
Yeah, like see that's cross grain. Now I got to come back. Same thing in the middle if you'd like. Want to add some character. Kind of old world kind of look. Like Angela said, they like this for islands.
Desks.
Can always come back. Yeah, a lady paid us one time like $6,000 to do this on
Really?
a desk. Yeah, just wanted a Ferrari kind of a red. We got a picture of it on our website on one of our showcase homes.
Oh, I was thinking about that one in your book. The one we did though, it had worms, heavy duty cracks, heavy duty distressing of every kind, chinking, hewing, it had everything. Heavy duty. And red underneath, black on top, and then Crackle lacquer brought the red forward. It was crazy.
Okay, so we got some stuff in there. Now all this will really kind of jump out at you when you put the clear. Now do you like that kind of red? I don't know, what do we got in here? Curious.
White.
That's not gonna do good.
Yeah, you always watch what you grab, and I'll tell you.
For sure. Were you thinking of going a little darker or something, or
I
what?
had thought about it, but, you know, it doesn't matter.
That's pretty much it.
We could always see what it looks like this too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what's neat about adding that, which you can't tell yet right now, but that little hand glaze that he did,
Yeah.
once you clear coat it, it kind of makes the oak not look so oaky, and people really like that sometimes.
Yeah, yep.
However, some people really like it, just how it
They
was.
do it.
What's that?
The way you had it before you added the hand glazing.
Oh, yeah.
The
Like
streaks.
this bright red kind of.
Oh yeah.
Just on that kind of tiger grain.
Yeah.
Some people like it and some people hate it.
Kind of push it down in there. Okay, got it? How's that look for an island? Or a desk?
I like it.
Isn't that great?
With that clear coat does.
Yeah, and,
Or I use it.
yeah. So I may, just depending on the person. Some people like the brightness of it. Some
Yeah.
people might want it toned down just a little bit. But it's very unique.
How would you tone that down? They said, oh, that's a little too bright.
Little dye, we're done with this now, right? So I can put a little dye in here.
Yeah, done.
That's covered, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So some people don't like all that deep grain that you can see there.
Right.
So then we could soften it with a little bit blacker glaze and hand glaze it so
Just like we, okay.
it looks
Rub
like
it over.
non-oak.
Okay.
And then soften it down and then clear coat it again, and so then it doesn't look oaky. Because this is pretty zebra oaky, you know?
Some people love it though on a red
Yeah,
like that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that is very pretty.
Yes.
I'll just show you. We're just toning down the brightness a little bit so it looks like a really rich.
Yeah.
That's probably all I would do, wouldn't
I
you?
like that, yeah.
Maybe right there a little bit. We're just getting rid of the real red, but we got some good variation.
You got a little bit of brown toner.
A little bit of brown toner. And that is really cool.
Nice.
It is, yep. And we got a dark glaze around the profile.
Okay, nice.
So then we'll put one more clear coat on it. Brian, I'll have you do that. One more nice clear coat of that. Okay. That's pretty though, isn't it?
That's really
See,
pretty.
that's, I mean, oak can be dressed up really nice.
Really, you made me a believer. I painted oak until you showed up.
And it lasts forever.
Yes, it does.
There we go. Yep. One more. Okay. And then down into the house we go.
Again, real quick.
So you want to get rid of the wood, the white, the bleach tone kind of look, and you want to put this yellowish kind of brown over it. And you could actually tone, again, it's doing what we said we wouldn't do. Toning with the pigment,
Okay,
because you want to block out some of the white,
okay.
and then glaze over the top.
So toning with the pigment, that's by hand?
No, with the gun.
Spray that, okay.
You want me to do this one?
Yeah.
See what happens?
Yep.
And on white, remember? Because white will really show pulsation. A glaze around here would be nice. A nice VanDyke.
Oh, I'm in the wrong place. We're toning that pickled door.
Getting rid of the whitewash.
Yep.
So from here, I would probably
Some people might even like that, you know?
That's better even.
Isn't that
But
crazy?
I would lock it in now. You could use the brown toner. That whole thing of brown toner I could leave. And you could tone right over this with that.
Brown toner. What brown toner?
I'll show you. Look what I did. That's what happens. So. Okay. Do you want me to just leave it just to show them anyway?
And we should show them what we deal with that, how we deal with this problem. That would be good.
Let's see.
I would be calling if I did that.
All right. He said he'd be calling us if he did that, so.
Well,
Right now.
it's just a little active.
Yep.
It's kind of like, and if you want, like I would have probably taped it here.
When you refog it?
Yeah, just
So you don't
refog
go
it.
over heavy?
Yeah.
Can we go get some tape?
It's, it's all right.
Yeah, it's good for.
So we're just doing like a little demo.
You sure? I don't mind.
It's all right.
All right. All right.
So let's just we'll put this a little bit back in just for the heck, right?
We want to make a nice sample, right? Right?
Sure, sure. Go ahead, let's see if this is dry. Let's grab a little bit of tape.
All right. Locking in the toner.
So now that kind of looks like back to normal oval.
It does, yeah. If I want somebody to I wouldn't say, oh, it's pickle okay.
So now from there, you can either tone it,
Then you're back
you
to
can glaze it.
Now you can do whatever you want.
Yes, and that's, this is some glaze I'm gonna leave you. Let's just, can I see my Cupgun there real quick? We'll get rid of this.
The only thing I want to say about that pickled is that some people's pickle is more pickled than other people's.
Right.
So some people have a lot of pigment
Right,
in it.
right.
And in that case, that's not going to look so great.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it'll just make
If
the
it's a
grain
heavy
disappear. So they're saying, I want to see the grain. And you're going to be like,
pickle, It's
ah.
already blurry. Then
Yeah.
But that's the advantage though of having oak, because you'll always have grain.
It's true.
So now we're just coming back. And remember, always go a little thinner
Yep.
with whitewash, right? So we'll just, a lacquer thinner.
Almost
So
gone.
your dad will probably be surprised that you need to get it that color, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just kick this off. Again, get rid of my stuff. Get that old stuff out of there and then turn this way down because you don't want to go splotchy, right? Same thing. And the fluid. So we're just putting a nice little, you see it isn't doing much, is it?
No.
But yet it is putting it on there, right?
Yep.
So take your time. If you want, do you remember how to make those glaze streaks with a brush if you ever want them in there? How we did on that other thing?
Just a wide brush.
And just put the streaks in there?
Give it real light and then just kind of
Yep.
Or that other 2-inch brush.
Yeah, just a light.
Uh-huh.
So that somebody picks up some of it.
Yeah, I like the 2-inch brushes. Yeah.
Lightly wipe it.
Yep. We're just gonna come back.
That's pretty good. Now we just come in and we add it with the brown on.
Yeah, with just the brown.
Is that what we mixed up? And what does it do with it now?
No, this is actually dyed.
Because that was
This is stuff I brought with me that we made your stuff out of.
Isn't that nice glaze in that? Be really nice.
Yeah, nice.
Again, it's in a weird kind of way. It's almost that beigey, only it's a brown beigey. It is. With the dark glaze, that'd be really
The
pretty.
dark glaze in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's our dark glaze? Yeah, because that almost looks like a, it almost looks like a hickory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And with the
does.
glaze, do we have our little bit of dark glaze?
Oh, I think it might be right behind you there.
Where's our fat brush we have?
Here.
Okay? And then I'll just make it a little bit real quick.
Let Brian do it. Maybe see how he
We
can.
did, I'm trying to think now. We clear coated,
Clear coat.
white fog with a toner. We toned it that soft color. Right?
Yep.
Clear coat, a little bit darker toner, and then just toned it again.
Yep.
And then we'll clear coat next to just clear coat.
Since we had that glaze, right? Dan's making glaze. You want him to make the glaze?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a little brown and black. Let me just whip it out real quick. We'll get it so low on everything.
Right. The mineral here, right?
Yep. Really weird. Oh, I wonder. Sitting there mixing this stuff going, it's not mixing. It was some other stuff. I kept putting brown in, it kept staying thin. What's wrong with this stuff? Let's see which this one is. Yeah, that's the oil. Let's see. The VanDyke brown glaze you can buy. See, like these are called glazes. Finisher's glaze, VanDyke brown. You don't
Okay.
even have to mix it. And this has got a slip agent in it to where it wipes off real easy.
Okay.
Stays in the glaze and wipes right off. It don't etch in.
So you don't mix it or anything, you just right out the...
Right out of the deal. Has some kind of compound in it where it just wipes in and wipes out. Okay, let's check this door out over here. See what we got. Not bad, is it? A little bit of specks from the glaze, sometimes it'll...
Would you mind flipping the door
we need
for
our other
the...
brush, our good fine blade brush. Oh, here it is. How's the corners? Are they wet? Are they pretty dry? The inside there. Is it like, can I glaze with it or? Yeah, it looks pretty. That's right. Okay, I'll let you go ahead. You just kind of go down here.
Down the bottom?
Yep, on this side, whichever you want. Keep it kind of tight as you can.
I like this color because your grandparents' kitchen is kind of small. So it would be nice to see a light color and see if they like it.
Right.
Because then if they have a darker floor, it'll blend
Yeah,
right
the floor is
in.
definitely darker.
And it makes the kitchen feel big.
And then when you get to your corner, just kind of do that, and then just wipe it.
Okay.
Okay?
Always if somebody has a real small kitchen, try really hard to
Keep it
steer them
light.
away from dark.
Right.
Anything dark.
Okay, can I wipe that now or
Yeah, and I would maybe put one more right there.
at the top of this lid?
Yep, right there all the way around.
Encompassing the two there, Dan.
That's why those brushes are so nice when you get the right size. You just cut it right in there. There. Real good.
It's amazing that was the same door.
Huh?
Amazing that was the same door.
Okay, and one more.
You hit this as you're lefty.
Yep. And we can, and if you ever want to make it a little stronger, because this is, add a little bit back, right? Okay, clean it up. So how do we look?
It's gorgeous.
And screw.
Okay, a little bit up here, just a little bit more maybe, a little bit stronger.
I think it'll be a nice color in the combination of colors. It's one that's a little bit lighter, not too dark. It'll be a nice blend for the picture.
Well, here's the other thing too.
We use 2 different toners to get it to this color.
Yes.
When you do boxes, it's the same thing. You have to use the first toner.
Yeah, one was a pigment, like a stain, because we wanted to block out a little bit more of that white.
Okay.
And then the other was a toner, regular. And you have a whole gallon to do the whole job.
So the toner is made with dye.
Yes. In the very first one, we just used a little pigment.
Okay.
You know, let me just see something here. Use that same toner. Just throwing just that, maybe a hair more, right?
Still some of that yellow, right?
Yeah, and this toner may have a little yellow in it.
Right.
You know, maybe why it's like that. Not bad though. We got it back to like a wood tone. And if you wanted to, you could always, if you wanted to, you could always wipe the glaze or put those glaze streaks in it.
Right.
But that may be, this might be just enough. Let me see the edges now. Darken those up.
So right now you're putting a brown toner on.
Yep. Evening everything up. Seeing how I like it. Don't matter if you get a little dark here and there, it kind of adds to it, right? That's why we charge more for whitewash, because it takes a while to get there.
Right. And how do we mix? So the first one was a pigment mixed with lacquer.
It was just a stain I grabbed right off there. And then, you know how we did the other job? Where we took that pigment that we used
The white going?
Yeah, and we dumped it in, I shaded it just a little bit.
Right.
That's what I use for that.
Okay.
Because pigment will always do what? Paint.
Okay.
It'll always paint it out.
Okay. So you can make it, so I could have wiped that first coat on.
Yep, put away for that.
Or add a little lacquer thinner spray.
Yep.
Okay.
Your dad will probably freak out, won't he?
We'll get the before and after picture for this one.
Oh, yeah.
I love that door.
That's a very pretty door. Saving that for a sample.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's crazy to think, isn't it? Man.
Holy mackerel.
There's an exact copy of what we just finished on the right. This is the before and the after.
That's